What's going on, everybody? American Football Network here with another video today. Today, we're bringing you our Florida preview prediction video. Make sure you guys check out the description for links to our shop podcast website. Hit that subscribe button. Help us reach 11,000 by the end of August. Today, we are joined by Michael from the Ultimate Sports Network. How you doing today, man?
Pretty good.
Glad to have him on. As always, let's go ahead and jump in to this schedule with Florida. So last year, you look at them 8-5 overall, 4-4. In the SEC, Lagway came in about halfway through the year for Graham Mertz, who got injured. Played good, but then he himself also got injured. He played through a lot of injuries last year. Bring back 8 starters on offense, Lagway and Eugene Wilson highlighting that. And then 5 starters on the defense as well. So pretty solid returning group here for the Gators. Pretty good recruiting class that came in for them this past cycle. But let's go ahead and jump into the schedule for them. So week 1, Long Island, not much of a talk there. I think Florida destroys them. I'm gonna say 48-3.
Yep, we're on the same page there.
Then moving on to week 2, they get South Florida. Again, I don't think much discussion on this one, although I don't think it'll be as bad as the Long Island game. I think South Florida could compete with them for a little bit in this game, but I don't expect a whole lot out of them. I have the Gators winning this one 45-7.
Yeah, I think this could be a bit of a closer game, obviously, considering that it's South Florida and not LIU. Um, but once again, Florida rolls in this game. I got Florida winning 42-10.
I agree. Then the first test, and a first test pretty quick for Florida right out of the gate. Week 3, opening up SEC play on the road at LSU. What are your thoughts on that one?
On the road at LSU, DJ Lagway. Very tough game. This will be a night game. I can almost guarantee it. Um, I'm pretty dang sure, in my opinion, at least it should be. But I think that home crowd and Nussmeier just too much for Florida. I got the Tigers taking this one over the Gators, 38-21.
Yeah, I agree. I have a win here for LSU. I think that Garrett Nussmeier and that LSU offense are going to be a little too much. I do think this will be a good game, a competitive game, but I think LSU pulls away late. I have them winning this one 31-23 over Florida. I think both of these quarterbacks are very good in this game, Nussmeier and Lagway. But I do think that Nussmeier will get the win. I just think that LSU defense is better, and that's what it came down to for me in the decision on picking this game. Was just I think the LSU defense, I trust them more to get stops late in the game. I think they're the better defense. So I'm going with the Tigers in that one. Then they go on the road to Miami. What are your thoughts on that one? Who do you have winning?
Um, Obviously, Carson Beckham to Miami was playing in the SEC last year at Georgia. Wasn't very good. Lesser weapons at Miami this year, I think, in my opinion. I think Florida rolls in this game, but not by a ton. I have the Gators winning and beating the Hurricanes by a final score of 31-17.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of on the same boat as you. I think it'll be a little bit more high scoring. Not a fan at all of Miami's defense. I don't think their defense is going to be very good. I do think they have some offensive weapons, but we'll see what Carson Beck does. I have Florida winning this game 41-27. I think that they just blow Miami out on the road. Get some revenge for what Miami did to them week 1 last year, beating them 41-17. But I think that I think Florida returns the favor to the Hurricanes this year with a big win over Miami. Then they get a bye week before they get Texas at home. What are your thoughts on that one? Who do you have winning that game?
This is going to be a crazy game. Once again, a night game in the swamp, you would think, which is going to make it even more crazy. Arch Manning coming to town. Um, I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go with Florida over Texas here by a final score of 35-31.
Okay, I like the pick. I like the bold pick. I'm leaning the other way. I'm going to go Texas. I think Texas may be the best team in college football, if not the best, definitely a top 5 team in the country. Now it will be tough to go on the road to the swamp. Um, especially up against a good Florida team. But I still have Texas getting the win in this one. I think Arch Manning is going to settle in and play nice this year for Texas. I'm not buying necessarily the Heisman winner hype. He definitely has a shot at it. I think he's talented enough to get it. I don't know if he's going to be that good, but I think he's going to settle in nicely, have a good season for Texas. I just think Texas just has too much on both sides of the football for Florida to handle. I have the Longhorns winning this one 38-24 over the Gators. Then they go on the road to Texas A&M. What are your thoughts on that one? Who do you have winning that game?
This could be a tough game for Florida, considering that it's on the road at Texas A&M. But I think when you really look at it, Texas A&M is going to have a probably another 8-4 season as they always do. I'm going to go another win here for the Gators.
Okay, I like it. So picking back-to-back upsets most likely for Florida. All right, well, I guess if they beat Texas, they probably would be favored at A&M, potentially, depending on what A&M's doing. But I'm going with the Aggies in this one. I think A&M that run game with Marcel Reed and Le'Veon Moss is going to be a little too much for this Florida defense. But I have it in a close one. I have A&M winning this one 24-20 over Florida, just barely sneaking by the win at Kyle Field. The big advantage I'm giving them is obviously the home field advantage, home of the 12th man there at Texas A&M. Then they get Mississippi State at home before a bye week. What are your thoughts on that game, and who do you have winning?
No conversation needed for this game. Florida 49, Mississippi State 10.
Yeah, I agree. I think Florida just blows them out, takes out some of that anger from two straight losses against A&M and Texas. I have Florida winning this one 45-7. I just think Mississippi State's one of the worst teams in the SEC, if not the worst team. They probably will finish last in the SEC. They might get one SEC win this year. Not a big fan of Mississippi State. I think Florida rolls. Then they get a bye week before they get Georgia in Jacksonville. They almost upset the Dogs last year before Lagway got hurt, ended up losing 34-20. What are your thoughts on that game, and who do you have winning that one?
With Lagway, Florida was on the way to upsetting Georgia if Lagway was not injured. And I think Stockton is a step back at quarterback from Beck, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Florida again here over Georgia. I got the Gators winning 24-21.
Okay, I like it. Another upset pick for the Gators. I'm leaning the opposite way. I got Georgia winning this game. I just think that the Dogs they had a little bit of a down year, especially for their standards last year. I think that they will be. I think that they will be on the other side. Um, kind of on the other side of the struggles last year, move past those. I think that Stockton is going to be a solid quarterback. I actually like the way he played against Notre Dame. I felt like the players around him kind of let him down in that game. In the playoffs, so I have Georgia winning this one, but I have them winning a close one, 27-23 over Florida. Moving on, they go on the road to Kentucky. Thoughts on this one? Who do you have winning?
Kentucky, a tough opponent, especially on the road. But I don't feel like there's a lot to talk about Kentucky here. I think this is another Florida win for the Gators. I have the Gators winning this game 34-17.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this will be much of a game. I think Kentucky's kind of down there like Mississippi State is one of the weaker teams in the SEC. I have Florida winning this one 35-10 over Kentucky. Just think Florida just too much offense for Kentucky to handle. Moving on, they go on the road to Ole Miss. Thoughts on this one? Who do you have winning?
Ole Miss definitely taking a step back from last year. I think Florida takes a step forward from last year. So I think that gives Florida the edge here. I got the Gators winning this game by a final score of 28-24.
I agree. I have Florida winning this one as well. I just think that Ole Miss defense is a little weak. I think Lagway and the Gators are going to be able to attack that, take advantage of it. I do think it'll be a close one. I have Florida winning 23-20 in Hotty Toddy. Gonna be a good game though, but I do have Florida sneaking out the win. I just think, like I said, that offense is going to be too much for the Ole Miss defense. I trust Florida's defense in that game to be able to get some stops late in the game. Moving on, they get Tennessee at home. Thoughts on that one?
In my opinion, Tennessee should not even be ranked to start the year. Not, and I know a lot of people are going to say that just because I'm saying they lost Nico, but It's not that. They brought in a quarterback that is nowhere near his caliber, and they lost a lot of talent too. They lost a lot more talent than people think. So I have Florida steamrolling Tennessee in this game, 38-21.
I agree. I think I'm not a big fan of Tennessee. They lost Nico. They lost some other pieces. I'm not a big fan of Tennessee in this one. I have Florida winning this game 27-17. I think a 10-point win at home over the Vols is a good win for Florida. I think they get the job done before rivalry week when they get the Seminoles of Florida State coming into town. Thoughts on that one, and who do you have winning?
This game's not even really worth talking about as right now. Castellanos coming in might be a bit better than DJU. But other than that, Florida's going to rule again, just like last year, especially with it being in the swamp. Gators win 35-10.
I agree. I think Florida gets the job done over Florida State. They beat them 31-11 last year on the road in Tallahassee. I think they continue that dominant. I think Florida State at best is 7-5 this year. Just and that's with some weak wins. I think they're reasonably going to be like 5-7. I see some improvement, but not a lot. I think Castellanos could make some plays for the Seminoles with his legs, but I think Florida is just better across the board, head coaching, offense, defense, all of it. So I have Florida winning this game 38-13. I think a good win for the Gators. So that wraps up the schedule prediction. I believe, yeah, I had Florida going 8-4 with losses at LSU, home against Texas, on the road at A&M, and in Jacksonville against Georgia. What did you have them going?
10-2.
10-2. Gotcha.
Losses
So
to
yeah,
LSU and losses to Georgia, I believe it was.
okay. So gonna be a good season for Florida if they can get through. This is a brutal schedule, toughest in the country. So we'll see if they're able to maneuver their way through it. But I think 8-4 with that schedule will be solid. You get a pretty good bowl game and maybe can catch a break next year with the scheduling. We'll see. But that wraps up today's video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, comment those thoughts and opinions down below, and we will see you guys next time.